Okay, we are ready to simulate. I open the ProgSim tool. It's going to start loading in a lot of the data here. It does pretty well at guessing what we want, but we still need to go through and double check that it has done what we wanted. Start with the trim tool. It's picked up all our punches. Show up in the check element, and we're good with that. Go back, move on down the list. Next one's the upper form. It's picked up both of these parts. I created them both with the form punch command. They're above the strip, so it makes sense. But we do not want our pressure pad to be a form tool. We are going to grab the last few faces down on the bottom here. And you can check and look at what we got and see that it is indeed what we want. Keep on going down. Next is the counter lifter. Accept the name and then look normal to draw a big floating lifter across the top here. The only thing is that we need to just watch out for the gusset. So really the only thing is just don't touch this. Other than that, nothing wrong with having more because it's just gonna support more material and keep it nice for the simulation. We're on both sides of the center line, so we are good. Next is the lower form. It's picked up the lower form and its faces. Confirm, and we like it. The lower lifter is the same as the upper lifter, so we just made that and we know it's good. Next is the OP boundary, accept the name, and then look at the drawing. And we're just trying to divide the part one from the next. What my goal here is to try and include some of the skeleton here. I need to go all the way out to the edge because this is going to define the shape of or the width of our material. But I'm going to come all the way into this center line here. And the goal, my only goal is here is I'm trying to put one lifter or one pilot in one and one in the other. I think I can actually just come all the way across with this. Go away. Or not. Yeah, close enough. There we go. So that's fully divided apart. And I can draw that in any station, and now it's patterned it all the way down. Pick our pilot holes. I'm going to hold control. Pick the edges. It's going to pick up on the pattern of the edge up until it gets recognized as a cutting punch. So I just do that for both of those, and it picks up the second one. And the last thing we need here is our pressure pad. I tell it this block did not pick up the face. I'm going to pick through the hole here. So I'll tell it there's 2 inches of stroke, initial force of 2,000 pounds, and hit confirm. We've got our basic strip stuff set up here. Go down to the bottom, get the rest of our stroke. The lifter is going to move the same as the pad, 2 inches, and we're going to make the lower lifter 2 inches as well, just for the sake of convenience. The overall stroke is going to be 8 inches. No, we can make it even shorter. We can make it 6. Thickness of the part is indeed 50 thousandths, and the progression of the part is indeed 3.5. Got our cold roll material selected, and we're going to use the medium default friction. We can, from here, go ahead and hit compute. to make sure that our simulation makes sense. And then once we know that it's working, we're gonna set it up to optimize the cutting punches. See all that material drawn in. That's what we're gonna ask the cut optimizer to make up for. All right, so simulation worked. So we're going to come over to the computation tab, and we are now going to ask it to run the cut optimizer. Use this fifth tab here. We're going to ask it to go within 10,000. It probably even goes closer. Let's ask for 7,000. But we're not going to ask for it to optimize the whole part. We're just going to optimize the tab because the rest of it's being carried and it's being cut and it's not really being developed. So it's only this tab part that matters. So it's identified the outline. I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to come in here and grab all this extra stuff. Delete that. And then we're also going to drag this back from the edge a little bit, which helps the simulation. So now we've got the edge of the part defined here, and we're going to tell it, please get within 7 thousandths of that. So we're going to go ahead and launch the computation again. To run through basically the same simulation over again. It's going to compare to that line we gave it now. See, it's come in here with that oversized material now. It's getting a lot closer just on the second attempt. Alrighty, so we can see the cutting punch that it has suggested, and given the green line here, we're now fully within 7 thousandths. Let me click on it. Maybe not. Anyhow, so we can take a look at the formability if we like. It's indeed a formable part. Spring back here, got 6 thousandths worth of spring back. So now the next step is we've got this cutting geometry in our simulation. We need to make that back into our form punch here. That is basically just a polyline mesh line that was made for that, and it is not nice geometry that you want to cut. So we're going to go into this punch here, and LogoPress has a tool called Optimize the Cutting Punch Outline. And it's going to bring in that polyline that was used to cut the part in the simulation. And it is just a line right here. This is not a line. It's not even really a spline. It's just a... So, but what it's saying is we're use this whole thing. Do you want to keep it all, or do you want to retain part of my old geometry? So I'm going to click here and tell it to delete all of this. We're going to erase that portion, and it leaves the front portion all in the magenta color of the line. The next thing we can do here is go to the outline merge arcs command. It's going to try to divide this down into lines and arcs. Each of these is it's an arc with maybe space between it or not. That's tangent to the next arc. The flat, an arc, a flat, an arc, and each of the triangles is kind of the radius of the arc that it's on. So we can kind of look at these and try to decide if we like what it's come up with. We're going to try to merge some of this, try to make a little less choppy outline. Most of what it's come up with is pretty good. I'm not going to try to merge too much of this here. But at the end of the day, you can still just come in with SolidWorks sketch entities and change what you like. But most of this is pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And it's going to make this into actual sketch elements now. All right, and the last thing we need to do is connect this back up. So I'm going to window that, get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to put our 10 thousandths fillet back on the edge here. And we're going to come over here, and I'm going to wipe out all of this for similar purposes. Oh, can't be in the fillet command. Wipe out all of that because we don't want that anymore. And we'll wipe out that. And we can do the same with the punch mismatch command. Maybe not. Let's try that again. There we go. Just got our mismatch back on there. So we can go attempt to simulate that punch again or not if we like. The only other thing we might want to do here is I'm going to hide this punch. We're going to get rid of these extra bodies here. We're going to edit the skeleton. And we are going to find these two bodies that we want to get rid of. This one and this one. And maybe that one too. I'm going to delete that one too. And we're going to use the delete bodies command and delete it. And that's now at the bottom. And then we're going to use the LogoPress one, unsuppress on the following stations. And it's now gone on the rest of them. There we go. Nice, pretty strip. And we'll save that. And we're done.